The man sliced open his fingertip, then flicked his hand. The blood spiraled out and took shape, a twisted, crimson umbrella forming in his palm. With a flick of his wrist, the umbrella unleashed a barrage of razor-sharp blood droplets like a storm of blades. This wasn't ordinary blood. It was known as demon's blood, a rare and deadly trait possessed only by fully awakened demons. It granted terrifying power, but at a steep cost. If the user lost control, they'd spiral into violent madness. Jack's father had been killed unjustly. The overwhelming rage that followed awakened the dormant demon's blood within him. In a blinding fury, he tore through his enemies with ease. But before the dust even settled, a mysterious man appeared out of nowhere and knocked Jack out cold. When Jack came to, he found himself tied to a chair. The stranger introduced himself as John, another awakened demon. Just like Jack, he explained that Jack had been brought here for a test. The enemies Jack had just fought, those who controlled the Dark Mist, were members of the Momotaro Agency. To fight back against them, another organization had been formed, the Oni Division. John explained it all in detail, but Jack wasn't listening. His mind was consumed with one thought: revenge. He wanted to slaughter every last person responsible for his father's death. Seeing Jack's blind thirst for vengeance, John decided to test him a different way. He grabbed a necktie, looped it around Jack's throat, and pulled tight. Only on the edge of death do you find your true strength, he said coldly. If you can't survive this, you're not worth saving. Jack thrashed with everything he had, but his body was locked down tight. Blood began seeping from his eyes, ears, and nose. He was seconds away from blacking out, when suddenly, his spilled blood began to stir, as if it had a will of its own. It lunged toward John like a predator. John sidestepped effortlessly, but then, a figure emerged from the blood, a shadowy, monstrous clone of Jack. Through the swirling mist, John stood unmoved, holding a blood-red umbrella. -100, he said coolly. You failed. Jack had entered a berserker state. There was no thought left, only the urge to kill. But even as the blood demon charged him, John didn't so much as flinch. When Jack regained consciousness, he had no memory of the incident, but the ruined hall around him told enough of the story. John said, waking up your blood power is one thing, controlling it is another. Without discipline, you're just a walking bomb.